What's up everybody, Alex here with another cup of coffee video. I'm going to start this one off with a pickup. It's a big one for me, probably the biggest card of the year so far. It's a classic, and it's one that I've always wanted to add to the collection, so here it is finally, the 1954 Red Heart of the man himself, Stan the Man Musial. To me, this is the kind of card that when you get it, it immediately elevates your collection above wherever it was before. If you've been following my channel for any length of time, you know that I'm very conscious of the cards that I get and how they all go together. And so whenever I'm able to get a card of this caliber, it's very exciting, not only to get the card itself, but also to see it amongst the other cards in my collection. So let's get a closer look at this beauty. Of course, the red jumps out and grabs you right away. Fantastic portrait photograph of Stan the Man that gets the quintessential 1950s paint treatment along with the very 50s blue diamond design, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And of course the back, one interesting tidbit, it refers to the fall classic as the World's Series, which of course is what it was originally called before it was shortened to the World Series. So a little bit of a holdover there. I actually like to say the World's Series, so it's kind of fun. Maybe we should bring that phrase back. So the 1954 Red Hearts are considered to be one of the most beautiful and well-designed sets of the 1950s. And that's a pretty amazing feat, considering this is a regional set that's associated with, of all things, dog food. So how exactly did that happen? Well, let's get into it. So it's 1954, it's post-World War II, families were booming, the country was off and running and doing well, and people had enough income to support adding a canine to the family. Food companies answered the call by marketing tons of dog food to the American consumer. Enter Red Heart dog food. It at first may seem like an odd pairing, but John Morrill and Company, who was behind Red Heart, found a way to make a unique connection to the 1950s American household. They figured a good way to get America's attention was through the national pastime. The 1950s, of course, saw the explosion of baseball as it resonated with the culture like never before. So naturally, companies from all corners of the US looked for ways to take full advantage of the American love affair with the game. As it turns out, that included dog food. The trick, of course, was getting the kids to notice. That's where Morrill's brilliant ad campaign stepped in. Between colorful ads in newspapers and store displays, with big stars like Mickey Mantle and Stan Musial, and strategic spots on the comic pages, the Red Heart ads found a way to get in front of kids' eyes so that they could nag mom to buy cans of dog food for Sandy the next time she was at the grocery store. Stan the Man Musial was an exclusive spokesman for the promotion, making his card a memorable part of the Red Heart story. Now here's something I found that's pretty interesting. In one of the advertisements, a drawing features Stan Musial in hunting gear alongside what's listed as his favorite hunting dog. Stan says,
"Like baseball players, dogs have to stay in top condition all the time. Red Heart is big league dog food. It gives dogs all they need to stay in shape, and they're crazy about its 3 flavors, beef, fish, and liver. They love Red Heart, and so will your dog."
It's cool to see how the Red Heart marketing team tapped into Musial's hunting hobby to find a connection to their product. Red Heart released 3 series for a total of 33 cards, a set that would end up being filled with Hall of Famers and memorable players from the 1950s. In order to acquire the cards, you had to carefully remove 2 Red Heart labels from their cans, collect 10 cents and a coupon for each item, and mail all of that into Red Heart Baseball Pictures in Chicago. As it turns out, Red Heart also offered many other items, including miniature team pennants, t-shirts, autographed baseballs, and more, including a Major League Baseball headscarf. So, cool, but yeah, just go for the cards, kids. The cards themselves were based on portrait photographs of each player. The images were then painted, and each featured a distinct solid color background. Morrill must have spent a lot of money on red, green, and blue ink to make these cards, but their simple yet striking design was well worth it. The red backgrounds were issued in smaller numbers along the East Coast, while the green background was harder to find in the Midwest. From what I've been able to find out about the set, the general consensus among collectors is that the red backgrounds are the most scarce amongst the 3 series. It's also important to note that with Mantle not appearing in the 1954 Topps set, and with Musial not appearing in either the Topps or Bowman sets that year, it makes these red hearts even more desirable than they already were. The cards can usually be found in great condition, in part because they were a mail-in offer and weren't found on store shelves around the country. Also, there's a very persistent story out there that the cards continued to be available to send away for well into the 1970s. I have to also mention something that's easy to overlook, which is the white borders and the diamond at the bottom that holds the player's name with the team name below. The font and that diamond shape all add to the wonderful 1950s aesthetic that just bursts off these cards. Before we wrap this up, I want to send out a special thanks and a shout out to Don from Don's Field of Dreams Cards for his help with this video. I hope you noticed his cameo. When I think of Stan the Man and the Red Heart card, I think of Don. So glad I could get him into this piece. So thanks again, Don. Alright guys, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to the conversations that will continue in the comments. Take care everybody, and I'll talk to you all soon.